No bye, no aloha. Gone with a rock promoter.
Cheers.
Okay, cheers. I think I'm getting kind of drunk.
Oh yeah. Well, don't drink it if you don't want to.
We're filming, aren't we?
I think so.
Oh shit.
If I was to look into your emails, how many unread emails do you think you have?
All of them.
You're one of those savages. Whenever I see somebody's phone, and there's like, if you pull up your iPhone, right? Like, I'm not saying to pull it out. I'm not going to invade your privacy, but if I see more than like 4 or 5 in that red circle, I'm like, what is your problem? Why do you do that? Why don't you just delete them?
Because I'm gonna get to them one day.
Really? Is that what you think? Which is fine. I'm not.
I kind of do. You know, like how you binge watch shit. It's like the same thing when you what I try to do with my pattern with my phone usage these days. You know, instead of getting all stuck, the way we've all been getting stuck, I just like break the code so that I can.
So you stay away from
Be
the phone
sane,
for a
you know?
while. Stay away from the phone for a while. Let it build up and then tackle it. Because I feel like if I had that many emails, there's not a chance in hell I'm going to go through them. I just delete them all. I just delete.
I
don't
just
know.
changed my account.
Do you?
Yeah,
I haven't had
but I still manage all 3 of them, or whatever, 4 or 5.
I haven't had a different email since like I have my downbeat email, but other than that, I've had the same email since, let me think, 2001 maybe. Before that was like some stupid high school emails that I had.
2001.
Yeah, I think so.
That's like Yahoo.
That's what I have. Cow's
Days
milk
of
is for
Yahoo,
cows at yahoo.com. Yeah, it's been
Yeah.
the same one.
I'm old school.
I wonder if that's around the time I met you.
Yeah, I think it
2001.
definitely was around that time because that's when I started seeing you all around.
Were you at Buka at that moment at that time?
I think so.
Yeah, because that's
Yeah.
definitely when I met you. You were working at Buka. Were you throwing shows back then, or when did you really start promoting shows?
Well, I mean, I threw a show as early as 90, like 99, I think. And
Is that the one you were talking about?
Yeah, that was at venue called, I think it was Beach Hall. Hold on.
I know there's been so many damn venues.
It was you know that the one at the corner of Puck's Alley.
Oh,
Was that Beach Hall?
I don't know.
Holy
it was like
shit. I should know.
I remember going to a show there at Jellies when Numbskulls released an album, and it was right around that time too.
Holy
like
shit.
it was
Okay.
around 99, 2000 ish.
Okay, I think that was around the time that they moved into Jellies in there, but before that, that whole corner was like completely just one big room. And we threw the show, and I threw the show with my friend Greg, who was in my band, Liquidator. And we wanted to, just promote ourselves, I guess. So we got like a bunch of different bands within the scene from different genres of it, the hardcore scene. Like, I think it was Kill You All. Then we had the Numbskulls, Extra Stout, and I forget. But it was a cool venue, especially at that time, because the scene was kind of blowing up. And, it was this, imagine like a garage space in that complex.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there was a bunch of
All ages
shows that
probably, huh?
they did. I think they did like Guttermouth there eventually and all that.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
But
with such a low ceiling too, right?
well, I think that's what happened. It became a low ceiling, but before that, it was all the way to the top.
Really?
Yeah, and
Damn. Yeah, I missed out on that one.
and we had a big stage. It was like
So that was Beach Hall.
it was like maybe like 5 feet high stage, and then we got up on there.
Damn. Nice. Yeah, we don't got shit anymore, man. It's such a bummer. There's like there's Downbeat Anna's, and like On King now is like maybe where like There were some kids talking the other day on Instagram about like where can we throw an all ages show, and I was like, try on King, dude, because maybe. But do you feel like kids?
Fast Zone, you mean?
Yeah, yeah. Do you feel like kids would even come out to shows now? Because is punk rock's not even like it's not what it was back when we were kids. You know what I mean? It's not. Yeah, exactly. Fortnite.
I mean, it's just the way we pass the baton, I guess, these days, you know?
But do you think it'll ever like I honestly kind of feel like it's past. Like I don't see any young kids starting punk rock bands. You know?
People are always starting punk rock, whether it's in the EDM scene or the mod scene.
In the EDM scene, you think?
Or the mod scene. It's a punk rock. You know, it's got its lineage to like a rebellious part of your life where you most feel it when you're like a teenager.
Yeah, that is true. Of course.
In your youth.
Yeah, but what I mean is like I don't know if like actual punk rock and roll music is gonna survive. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I hope maybe it's always up and down, you know. I feel like the scene's always bouncing, and there's some I remember for a while, you know, going to like 86less shows and it'd be like, fuck, 500 people. And then I'd go a year or two later and there was like seriously 10 people. And, you know, it's like, it's just waves. But I mean, you were throwing shows down in that time when it was thriving at its most. You know, I think what you're doing like next door and the venue or something like that, right?
What, you mean like a couple years ago with Jet Setter?
That was more than a couple years ago, right? Like that was at least like 5 or 7 years ago.
Yeah, 5-7 years ago.
Yeah, that's when it was fucking cranking.
That's when I think a lot of us were like, you know, coming back to like throw shows and shit. So
Yeah.
you know,
Johnny Boto was like, I feel like you and Johnny Boto and like who else? There was somebody else involved with it, right? But like those shows were going off, and I just like I feel like at right now, I'm not trying to be negative either about it, but like I just feel like it's kind of a little bit of a lull or the end. I can't tell. Maybe it's the end or maybe it's just a lull for now. But I don't know. When was the last show that you threw? Like it's kind of been a minute, right?
yeah, I haven't thrown a show since my birthday show in November of last year.
Oh shit, that's the one. Yeah.
That's the one you guys played us with Hell Caminos and Black
Yeah, that was super fun. And that was the first time I'd been to Asylum
Slayer. Yeah.
ever. But I used to go there when it was a practice studio.
Yeah, I used to rehearse there too back in the day.
Yeah.
With Mike Reed. And
That was really cool that you kind of forced us to do that. No, not forced us, but like
Right.
you kind of like I wouldn't have gone there had I not been playing. Like if I was like, "What? You're having your birthday at Asylum?" No, I'm not going to go to that. I not because I'm like throwing shade on that club or anything. It's just like not a place that I would ever find myself, but I'm really glad that I did go cuz I had a lot of fun. I was like, "Oh, this place is actually kind of cool."
I think that's kind of why that was kind of my motivation, is just to bring everybody into a situational thing that they feel like this is not the norm, and that's what makes the scene exciting, is when you do something different besides the regular, I don't know, not going to name venues, but you know where I'm talking about.
Sure.
All the different places. And you know, with Asylum, I knew it was going to, you know, transition that way if we opened the night a little early and then had the late night crowd, and we did, and we had like the Wonderland cruise and coming down, and it was like super packed, and they were coming in at 2 and we were going out around between 2 to 4.
That place is like a fucking time warp. Like I don't know what time it was, but I remember thinking like, all right, well, I guess we'll get out of here, maybe go to another bar. I don't know, what time is it? And it was like fucking 4 a.m. And I was like, whoa, it's 4 a.m.? Like what time did we play? Like at 1:30 or something? Like that, it was crazy. And it didn't,
like right after midnight.
it didn't feel late.
Yeah.
You know, like if you're at Downbeat at 1:30, if you're at Anna's at 1:30, you're like, whoa, this night is wrapping up. Everybody here is getting about as drunk as they're going to get for the night. And at Asylum, like they were just cruising at 1:30. Like nothing was, it was like mellow. It was just ramping up.
Yeah,
and then at about like what, 2:33, it was like, whoa, this place is packed. That was crazy.
Yeah, that's kind of what my motivation was. Is I just wanted to create an urban environment that, you know, we can kind of like look towards and like say, hey, we can do this. We can make our underground scene, like, you know, grow the same way we did back in the day.
I feel like that was.
You know?
I feel like
It
you
felt
should do
like,
another show there.
it
Maybe
felt
that
like,
was.
Brooklyn or something.
It felt. It felt like
Or
an old school
LA,
vibe for sure. I mean, it's
Vegas.
still all. It's still not all ages, right? But that's just so hard to find.
Yeah, and I think that's I guess that's when that's what we were talking about in some thread earlier today, right? On Instagram or something.
What's that?
Like maybe finding more
Oh yeah, finding that spot to
like
throw
maybe
a
creating
show.
something, right?
Yeah, but
I did talk to Simon briefly. I guess maybe we don't have to put this in there, but like
Black
about
Flies.
about maybe, hey, why don't we do like once a month punk, even if it's not once a month, maybe once every 3 or 4 months at Asylum.
Oh yeah, why not once a month?
Yeah, I mean, if not once a month, like once in a while.
Yeah. Well,
Just
what
to,
is it?
like-
Okay, so what logistically do you know? What it would? What does it take to just get a monthly there? Like, would it be hard? Because especially if it was thrown earlier in the night,
Sorry, I'm burping.
it's all good.
What?
What if it? I
I'm
mean,
just
do you
kidding,
think it'd be
okay.
difficult to
No,
get?
no, I mean, like, I kind of like got so involved with them now ever since that show, like, and so, um, like, I know like their program scheduling and all that shit, and I can
Yeah,
find a way to work it out and bring it all together.
dude, that'd be. I think we absolutely should do that. Not
And not
we,
just-
but
not
like
just
not
there.
necessarily me, but somebody. I feel like that'd be a killer venue to be utilizing for the earlier night.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure that they'd be stoked to have some people in there before too.
Right.
Right.
And we can utilize that time. The thing is, like, you know how they have, like, back in the day, I think there was a couple spots that we could utilize, whether it was a warehouse, a church, or a venue. And I think that's what we need now too. We need, like, the people that are doing the shows at Lana Lane. I mean, that's
Mhm.
Kainalo and stuff. People who are doing stuff at Downbeat, and maybe people doing stuff at Asylum, for example, and just like kind of do stuff regularly, and then bring those scenes together. And I think that's what punk shows back in the day used to be like. We used to have, like, here's the punk rock crews from Waipahu, yep, Mililani, Kaneohe, you know what I mean, and then Town, of course, and everywhere else that I forgot. North Shore, okay, Josh.
Yeah, yeah.
Just kidding. But
do you do you
yeah.
remember? Do you remember like when? So like me and Josh were doing shows over at Coffee Factory, like before Coffee Talk
Yeah.
there was Coffee Factory.
Was that then like Keimoku-ish?
King and Kamoku, baby.
Yeah.
That was like, okay, tell me this. Like, think back to a time when you're like, everybody's like, those were the days. To me, Coffee Factory, that was it. That was the fucking time, man. Like, what do you think? Did you ever go to any of those shows?
Yeah.
That was, but I don't know. What did you think? Like, cause
I was like, who's these fucking kids wearing Fred Perry? And Erica knows that.
yeah. But yeah, we were kids, dude. We're like underage kids
No, I
back
know.
then. And the same thing. I remember when you said you threw your first show and you paid every band $200 and it was like, what the fuck? And mine wasn't that crazy, but like I threw a show for 4 bands, and I think I paid everybody like $100
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
were like, what? Like $100 playing a show in 2002
Yeah.
was unheard of.
Right.
For a
especially
punk for a
music.
punk band,
that
you know
kind
what
of
I
music.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like BBJ said, like that's your exclusive music studios bill for the month, man. Like you just covered practice for the dude. Yeah. So what was your day like when you were like those were the days? What was your day? Like it could have been recent too, I don't care.
No. I think like just my kind of like introduction to the scene. Like, I mean, I went to a bunch of punk shows before, and then I went out before when I was in high school,
Yeah.
and then I went to the mainland, and then I went to Las Vegas, and then I came back. You know?
Vegas. That's right. I forgot about you being in Vegas.
Yeah, but you know that time that you went over there?
Yeah.
That was the second time we lived there.
Oh shit.
There was the first time.
Let's pull this in a little bit.
All right. There was the first. Yeah, sorry. There was the first time when I moved there, like right out of high school,
Oh shit.
and I like took this job in Alaska where you work the whole month, and like I bought a Vespa, moved to Las Vegas.
Whoa. Damn, Alaska. I want to go to Alaska. I've never been there.
Yeah.
How was it? You were just there for a month.
No, I did this. They call it the salmon season. So you work in the like processing plant or a vessel, and you just do whatever. You either fish or you process fish, and like they wouldn't give you a paycheck till like the end, and then you cash it then, but you'd have a big lump sum, and they reimburse you for all your other expenses, even travel.
Nice.
So it was I found it in like High Times. My brother told me about it. Yeah.
We want some
Before the
stoners
internet.
up here at the salmon farm. Fucking
Yeah, before the internet, it was Tower Records, so we go,
Dude.
you look through all the different magazines for like your infos and stuff, and that was
Yeah.
like the alternate route to information. So you go there, you check out your porn, your fucking Russ Myers B films,
Dude.
you go check out, you steal CDs or whatever you do, and video games. And
You ever really miss those pre-internet days? Like,
no, I do, because then it
God
made more
damn
people
it.
like genuine people, because if they
Yes,
really were genuinely
100%.
interested into something, they would go to whatever extents to do that, and now they don't have to. They could just like open up their phone and
it's
be
a
like
shame, man.
and be like an expert in anything.
Yeah.
Which is bullshit, because what makes you an expert is your drive to like want to search deeper for more.
Yeah.
For one reason,
To actually to put in
someone
more
broke up
work
with you.
than just typing with your fucking stupid nubby fingers.
right,
and-
going to a show, putting yourself
Yeah.
out there.
when
Going
I
to a
went
show
to
alone.
when I went to Oakland, when I was a teenager, I would go hang out with my dad in Oakland, and he was like, "Yo, you should go to this club, man. It's you would love it. It's this punk rock club." And I was like, "Okay." I'm like a teenager, and he like takes me and drops me off with a couple friends.
How old are you?
I was probably like 17.
Oh shit. Okay.
And it was Gilman.
Okay.
And I was like, whoa, this place is fucking rad. And then I met some friends, and this one girl I met was like, yeah, I'm looking for this one particular Rancid record that I'm trying to find. And like saying that today sounds silly, because you could just go on Spotify and listen to it, or iTunes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or you could pull it up on YouTube. But she was like, no, I'm really trying to find Let's Go. I don't have it. And so I was like, okay. So we run around together, going to actual CD and record shops,
that's called aesthetical value.
dude.
Like when we'd see like me and, let's say, Cass and all my friends, Hacking, Mikey and them, when we see, and you and everybody, but we see a chick with like a stiff little fingers patch back in the day, which is like melt.
Right.
Because it symbolized more than like what she appeared like, but even that too, because like how she put herself together, you could figure out who they were, and you can still do that now.
Kind of.
You could probably do
yeah.
it even better now, but like it's not real, because variables.
Well,
are stuff
everything's
that,
so easy to get. Like, I didn't even think about this. Like, how are you even getting Fred Perry's back in the day? Where were you go to, like, Neiman Marcus?
No, your friend would pass you a folded zine,
Shit.
and it would have a catalog, right? It has
Yeah.
catalog, and you would mail order all that shit. You never knew how
You
it
had to
looked like.
trust. You had to send it away with no email confirmation.
It was like a like a FedEx Kinko's like reprint like of the 200th time.
Yeah.
So like,
Yep.
if you saw like a jacket, it's totally distorted.
Oh,
from
dude.
what it actually is.
Me
You
and
just have to imagine.
Me and
it
Andrea
might look like this.
back in 2002, we were mail ordering all of our punk shirts, and we were both. So she was like like an extra small, and I was a small. So she would buy everything in a small,
Fish.
and then I would wear them,
I love you, Fish.
and then dude, right. And I would wear them first, and then she would cut them up later and then stitch them up for her to wear. But it was like, I have a bondage belt that I've never gotten rid of, and I haven't worn it since I've lived here. I probably haven't worn it since I moved back to Hawaii.
Can I have it?
Absolutely not.
Dude, you're not wearing it.
Well, me and her ordered it.
Are you guys? We're the same size. You mean?
No, we just ordered it like in a box together.
I'm just joking.
But I still have.
Everybody knows the legendary Nick. I just have to put that out there right now.
Oh.
What? Anyway.
Oh my god, you're so stupid.
Why?
But yeah, man, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like that's almost going to become a cliche thing, but there is something about like the people who are around before the internet, the people who the people who didn't have a cell phone when they were a teenager, the people who couldn't just Google search anything that they ever wanted to, that didn't have the answer for anything like that.
I mean, there's always been people like that. They just didn't have Google, you know?
Yeah.
That's just pop culture. The people who just, are cool with surface. And, we were the people who wanted to dig into like 200th print punk rock catalogs to get the aesthetical value that we wanted and made us feel like who we were and wanted to be.
Yeah. It was, I mean,
sorry, I'm like, I'm stoned.
that's all good.
But you know what I mean?
But like not even to trash, because I mean, I feel like there was a whole good fucking set of years where everybody's like, oh, Hot Topic, fuck Hot Topic, and but the thing is that the truth is that when Hot Topic first moved in, it became easy to kind of get these things, and before that, you had to fucking fight and dig, and you had to find the things that you wanted. You know what I mean? Like if you had, like, I had a Global Threat T-shirt from
Hot Topic.
No.
Oh my God.
No. I don't think they'd ever sold that, but I had one that Andrea ordered, and it was. I wore it until all of the red print was gone, and it was a black shirt. And I had that shirt for so long, and I got it back in that time when you couldn't just, I don't think it was pre-Hot Topic, but it was like in that time where you couldn't just order
Walk
something.
into the mall, you mean?
Yeah, you couldn't just type online and order a thing and have it within 4 to 6 days.
Hey, Erica, do you remember? I'm sorry, I'm just going in a tangent right now. Erica, you remember Delia's? I know you do. Yeah. Just kidding. I do. Sorry, just had to throw that out there. Remember Delia's? You remember Delia's?
I don't know what that
is. What the fuck? It's like the male. It became like the more like, like pop culture-y, like trendy, like mail order catalog for preteens and teens, girls.
Ordering what?
Girls' clothing.
Oh, okay. Just
so they took mail order catalogs and how they did it with the youth culture, and then they made like a pop culture, youth culture, girls catalog.
And this is all pre-internet kind of deal.
Yeah, this is like around the same time, like eBay was trending and all that shit in the early 90s.
When you were booking, like, so you booked some like larger acts, right? Like, what was like who did you get? English Beat? Is that like, was that like the biggest?
I mean, that was the biggest for me because like they were my like kind of like idols.
It's pretty big for anybody. Honestly,
they were my idols.
That's a pretty large band to book. I was blown away when you booked them.
Yeah, I met them before a couple times. Just I don't know, probably by fate, but we became friends, and each time he came, like I learned a lot from him. Like he had like pimp antics. Like he was like, hey, you should do it this way and this way, and he was like kind of like a boss that way. He was like, you want this to do it, you want this to go the way you want it, this is what you do, and he like kind of mentored me into a lot of it, but I kind of also like winged it, and yeah, like we bonded, we grew, and he's cool.
Dude,
he's like just like one of us, like me.
Just
Josh,
been doing it for so long. That's killer. How did you meet him, in Vegas or in Hawaii?
I met him first in Hawaii at Turtle Bay when they first played at this Dave Wakeling band, and then I met him in Vegas. And I actually do have a story about this, if you don't mind me.
Let's hear it.
I was I was in Las Vegas and moved to Las Vegas, and I met this girl, and like she worked at this record store, and her boss used to like give her a lot of shit. Like she would stash a vinyl of the band Love, and like he would come around and swipe all of them.
Okay.
So he was a dick, but he was in the record industry, and there was in Vegas. There's a bunch of like, the cool thing about Vegas is there's a bunch of like different conventions. I guess they have the porn
Yeah, for
convention, they
sure.
got the music, like clothing convention, and they came on one of the conventions, and they were doing this private performance in this one place, and he wasn't invited, but he wanted an autograph poster or something from Dave Wakeling, the singer.
Oh, okay.
in the
Yeah,
Speed.
yeah.
So he asked, "Hey, could get me an autograph poster?" So when we went to that place, there was a bunch of signed posters.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure, for
And
sure.
the thing is, I took an unsigned poster,
Yeah. Don't tell me you signed it.
and I was always really good at forging shit.
Oh my god, you did.
I forged a GUI once
That is fucking hilarious.
for the cheesecake. I'm just joking. Oh shit. Anyway,
It
I
doesn't
used to
matter. I'm
forge
sure it
all my
doesn't matter.
parents' letters to get out
For
of
sure.
school.
Yeah, who doesn't? But
I'm
so
sure
you
I've done hundreds.
forged a fucking signature for this guy, and he has
And
no
I said
idea.
I think it was like to Tim, from all the best, love Dave.
That's hilarious.
And then I said, "You want to get your boss back for being such a dick? Fucking give him this poster," and it looked just like Dave's signature and everything.
Yeah.
And then
And
she
he
gave it
was
to him,
stoked.
and he gave her a better schedule. And he was
That's
like, "Thank you so
amazing.
much." And the best part about that is like, eventually, when me and Dave got more acquainted, throwing shows together, I told him the story,
That's hilarious.
and I told
What
him,
did
I
he
was like,
say?
"Hey," I don't remember. I said no comment, I guess.
Okay.
But he, I'm sure he's found it amusing.
Dude, that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
That's great. Oh man.
Yeah, but the first time I met, I actually had to engage like formally with Dave, and start a business relationship. I met him in Maui. He was like, "Hey, are you gonna go to the Maui show?" I said, "No, I got it all coordinated. These guys are gonna pick you up. They're gonna take you to the show. They can take care of you." And then he's like, "No, I need you there."
Whoa.
It's like it was like midnight, and I had to scramble around, and my crew was people you knew, which is Devin D'Angelo, Kristen Meehan, Johnny Boto, and Pat Nicole
Oh, nice.
Jones, and
Yeah.
that was Jet Setter, and so we found this out like 10 hours before he was gonna be landing in Maui, so we busted out the iPad, and then got me a flight booked over there before him in the morning or something, and I met him there, and then the ride was the opening band, so because we were going from one part of Maui to another, so I called the opening band guy, and I was like, "Yo, you want to meet the lead singer?
Who played with him out there? Do you remember?
Ha.
I'm trying to think of who that would have been.
Their name was. Anyway, so he came, and then I was like, "Hey, man, you're here. I'm here." He's coming in right now. I was like, and I met up with him like 10 minutes before, and I was like, and then he was like, "Yeah." Dave was like, "Hey, we're about to walk out," and then I met up with the guy who was driving, who was the lead singer of the band that was opening, and I was like, "Hey, did you get lays?" And there was two of them, right?
Oh.
And he's like, "No." I was like, "This is the
Monster.
first time we're hosting this cat, and we don't got lays.
Oops.
Are you fucking kidding me?" I was like, "Let's jet over to the next, convenience gas station, and get some lays." So we went over there, and then Dave calls me, and he's like, "We're standing outside. Where are you guys?" And I'm like, "Shit, yeah, we're on our way. We're just filling up gas or something like that." He's like, "Filling up with gas." Blah, 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 blah. And he just gave me so much shit.
Wow.
And then I had to face him, and then we tried to give him lays. And then, we were going to give him lays, right? And we actually bought the lays, and we went over there with the lays. And we tried to give it to him, and he's like, "No."
What?
He was like, "Wait a minute." It's like, at first he didn't take it,
Did he didn't understand, maybe?
Well, he didn't take it because he was like, "You guys are late." And so when we're on the way going down the road, he was like, "Shit, you guys are late and stuff." And then he said something like, "Tardiness in my country,
Whoa.
oh, he's gonna kill me for this one. Tardiness is for the peasants or something like that. You know, not verbatim,
Yeah.
but and I was like, shit. So I just remember at that
Ever
moment.
since that day, you've never been late again.
No, you're funny. I was late to this interview. Is that the punchline you're looking for?
Sorry, but
It's okay. Anyway, no, at that moment I was rolling a blunt.
no, not you.
You know, of course me. You know, I was there at 8 a.m. This guy forgot the fucking lays. This guy's angry at me, and you know, he just made my life when I gave that fucking fake signed autograph poster. You know, and he's mad at me and he hates me. And I'm throwing 2 shows, one in Oahu too. And I was rolling this blunt, and I was like, "Fuck, man." And then I just looked at him, and I was like, "Well, you're in Hawaii now, and you're on Hawaii time."
Yeah.
And I handed him the fucking blunt and the lighter, and he was like, "Joe, tell me more about Hawaiian time."
Nice. Hell yeah. And then he got blazed.
And then I told him the story about the autograph poster I forged.
That's hilarious. That's fucking great, man. That's
Yeah.
killer. So yeah, he just needed to relax a little bit. Like he was like, "Come on, dude, you're on a Hawaii vacation, man."
Yeah, no, right. I mean, you know, like I said, nothing's verbatim.
Yeah, no doubt.
Or, I'm just kidding. You know what? You drank half your shit.
That whiskey's been staring at you for a minute.
All right.
I'll drink the rest of mine with you.
Cheers
Yeah.
to those who aren't. Cheers. Fuck.
Do you
I like
still
Lefroy.
This is Glenlivet, my man. But hey, I like them both.
Oh, yeah, no, this isn't too bad.
Do you
Better than Jameson for sure.
Oh, you're saying you prefer Lefroy
yeah.
to the Glenlivet? That's
yeah,
fine.
yeah, for sure.
You like the smoke?
I guess that's the aesthetical values, the peat.
Have you had Lagavulin? I don't know if I say that
Oh, I
right.
remember that. Yeah, yeah. I think
Dude,
Josh might have
That
introduced me to
shit is tasty, man.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
tastes
that's good
like
too.
when I describe it, it sounds horrible, but it tastes like somebody took like a really nice whiskey and then put a big cigar out in it, but in the best way. I love it.
Right, without the ashy,
It's
choking
just,
part.
It's so smoky. It's like ridiculous.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Yeah.
I'm just joking.
How much weed do you smoke a day? Do you think?
Weed? I don't really know because I do go between the vape and the dab and the actual herb.
Really?
Yeah, but not really too much. You know, like I use it to just just balance myself out. I have ADHD. Instead of taking Adderall, I smoke.
How long have you not taken Adderall?
I mean, I take it here and there whenever someone tosses it at me, but like.
You take it for fun, but not to manage.
No. I used to have a prescription for it, but then
Yeah,
like,
I would have figured so.
You know, my doctor, he just freaked out and like was like, I don't know, like he thought
you were abusing it.
No, not at all.
Oh, what
He
do you freak
thought-
out about?
He thought that I was like, my blood pressure was too high or some shit like
Oh,
that. And he was like, you know, I don't feel
does that
comfortable.
affect your blood pressure?
The thing is, I've always been like around this thing, you know.
Uh-huh.
So he just didn't want to like fuck up and misprescribe or something and lose his license. So he like took me off of it, and I was like, dude, I've been on this thing for like over nearly 2 decades.
Yeah, that's
And
got to
you
be
take-
kind of brutal.
Yeah, and it kind of fucked up my life a little bit because it happened during time, and part of the reason why maybe like I was in that state is because like I was having a separation
Sure.
with my daughter's mom, and there was a lot going on, but he just didn't really want to deal with it. It's,
Do you
it was
think that,
state insurance, but still.
Do you think that
Okay,
being
maybe
some-
don't add that.
do you think that being somebody who has ADHD legitimately, that there's a lot of people out there that they're just getting that tag tossed on them?
Totally, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like the original ADD fucking poster child.
Because
You
you
know?
are, I mean, like,
My friends used to call me Dizzy when I was a teenager. I
Yeah.
used to walk back and forth for no reason, just
How-
because I didn't know what to do with myself.
what's a day in your brain like? Like
Oh
like
my God.
wake up in the morning, open your eyes. What are you thinking? Like,
I wish you could know.
I do want to know. Like, give me the best description you possibly can. Like, what is it like to have that kind of a brain?
Binge watch 4 different Netflix series all in one day,
Whew. Yeah.
And go from 2 episodes each, and then go in a rotation, and then change up the rotation, and then throw some YouTube shit with videos and songs, and fucking smoke a lot of pot.
But I really, the ADHD thing is really interesting to me. So
Yeah.
was it like since you were a kid?
I feel like the funny part is, like, a lot of people who are into punk rock were kind of ADHD already, or if not, they were kind of like similar in that way, and that's why punk rock, like, they gravitated towards punk rock because, like, the songs were shorter, the message got across quicker.
For sure. No intros, no outros, no
Yeah.
solos,
And
no
then
bridges.
we were done with it,
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, like I remember I've always had ADHD, but like it wasn't a popular thing, and like the doctors I went to, they weren't like saying you have ADHD. They were like, I don't know, cutting paper clips or something of what I might have or something, and no one knowing, and then all of a sudden, like,
What was high
the
school
birth
like?
of Adderall came along.
Yeah, yeah.
And then everyone knew what ADHD was.
Did that change your life, or?
I mean, think about that though. Like,
well, it was.
let's just push a drug on the whole fucking society,
Yeah.
pop culture, and then let's make a brand of like what these people have through maybe like what we had, and like subliminally been feeding these people
Mm-hmm.
to be like this, to push this thing, and like that kind of shit you start to think about when you have all these different variables. Oh, I have Adderall this year and don't have it next, and you start thinking, like, question authority, like, how did this all happen? How did I get ADHD? How did I have to rely on this? How did they take this away from me? How do I survive?
Right. That's pretty fucking brutal.
Yeah, so you just like replace certain things, like I smoke pot now.
Yeah, and who
I
knows
drink.
what the side effects are going to be from which thing? And
A lifestyle.
so at what age did you first get prescribed to? I guess Adderall was the first.
It was in my 20s, because like
Yeah.
like in my teens, like nobody knew what ADHD was. It wasn't around. It was like people maybe in like the colleges to manipulate their situation to get better grades, and their Ivy League colleges did it, but like nobody had that kind of access until they realized maybe let's make it a fucking business, or let's like capitalize on this shit, and
Yeah,
generalize.
making the brand
Because
name
ADHD is
pharmaceutical.
broad as fuck,
Mm-hmm.
ADHD just means that like your attention span is a little shorter than some people.
Than the average person.
I don't even know what average is. Because
Exactly.
average is supposedly now, because it's being dictated by these type of drugs, is the normal. So what is average?
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
Who could say? And it's the thing is like I've had friends jokingly kind of diagnose, like, oh, you're definitely ADD, or you're definitely compulsive this or that, or, and I'm like, I don't think so, but I was gonna ask, do you think do you have any advantages over the rest of us because you have ADHD? Like, do you think that there's like some way that you're kind of a little bit of a superhero? Like, you
I
have
have to work twice as hard to fucking understand shit that you guys do, because I'm
Yeah.
fucking, my attention is like, I want pussy.
But-
Pussy. I'm just joking.
but is
I'm
there
not joking. I'm just trying to relate.
but is there anything that you're
I'm fucking with you.
I know,
It's a joke.
but
On
is
you.
there anything that
On you.
you're faster on?
Just joking. Faster on? Of course, man.
You think there's
If
anything
if
like
I'm faster on code, that means that I can see patterns happening
Yeah,
quicker.
that's what I'm thinking.
And see people how they are, and where they came from, and how they probably got there, and like how people get there. Of course, that's what I can apply to, like, say, social media variables. And shit.
exactly, because that's where you kind of fucking exceed.
And I
right?
understand
That's
that, but
where you
most people
excel.
my age don't understand that. They have it all in them, but they just don't know, because they didn't learn how to cope with their ADHD. And I haven't necessarily learned to master it, but like I'm aware of it. Just like, even say, people who are maybe they would consider technically schizophrenic. Shit, I could be technically schizophrenic, but you know what? I can manage all my personalities. It's all just me being an extreme, and like, it's just me being extreme as far as like, when I'm sad, when I'm angry, when I'm just nostalgic, when I'm like, wanting to improve certain parts of my life.
Yeah.
If I'm in touch with that, how the fuck am I schizophrenic? I'm just more in touch with myself, if anything. Because if we're 1,000 fucking voices, when we're asleep, when you're awake, you're just like this one voice.
Right.
that speaks for all of these schizophrenic personalities that they would just like prescribe. It's bullshit.
Do you think that there's a particular thing that makes you feel the most quote unquote normal? Like it like whether it be like Adderall or Xanax or this or that. Is there anything that
Are you
like
trying to pry into my drug use?
no? Well, I'm just
I'm
curious.
just joking. I'm just
'Cause,
kidding.
I mean,
I'm just
you-
beating you to the punchline.
Well, you've been open about it so far. So, is there anything that makes you feel the most? Because I don't the word normal doesn't really it's not the right word, but make you feel the most just leveled out. Is there anything that's like
yeah, being able to relate to people
yeah
on
maybe
like,
that
any level.
Yeah.
Like like when I was younger, I couldn't relate to anyone, so I made myself look even more unrelatable.
all
so
punk
that
rocked
someone,
out and shit?
yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
all the piercings, all the different hair colors. So that
Yeah, oh, I feel that.
the only people
Yeah.
who would get to know me is people who really wanted to get to know me.
Mhm. That's how I
Because-
was too, man.
Because I felt like in pop culture, everything was so surface. People, devalued people who couldn't shine like on the first time. And the way I thought of things is like people on who shine on the first time are so orchestrated. That's all they do the first time. But I'm like everyone else in the whole wide world, which is a second, third stringer, fourth stringer, fifth stringer, sixth stringer, fucking 100 stringer, fucking 100 followers on Instagram. I want to relate to everyone who can't relate. And
Right.
that's what I reached out to for a long time. And it's weird now because I alienated myself and now I feel like I can relate to almost everyone these days.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think I do because like, punk rock is a way of thinking and, people respect that in nowadays and like kind of say, like, hey, these guys were more forward thinking. But like, I can relate to like people who are in the EDM scene too now. And I see the lineage of it all. And it's because read a lot of books at Jellies. I'm just kidding. No, it's true. I read a lot of Smith lyrics, so I know all the Smith lyrics.
There you go. Dude, did you happen to go to that Morrissey concert when he was out here?
Fuck yeah.
What was that? That was like,
Did you go to that?
Oh, dude, that was maybe the best concert of my whole life.
You know what? It was.
On the waterfront over there, it sounded amazing,
It was
right?
insane.
Like I couldn't believe that they were able to get
People are
that good
hating
of a
us as we
sound.
say this right now.
Oh,
If
I
you guys weren't there, then you wouldn't know.
that sounded
Suck a dick.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the most amazing thing that I remember about that concert was
Yeah.
this couple, and they were like, they were from Waipahu, and they were just like regularly dressed,
Yeah, sure.
and they were like reciting Smith's lyrics that he was fucking singing, He was singing Smith's lyrics, and this regular looking Waipahu couple, no, nothing wrong with, that shit, but like, it's just unexpected because it's such a, the Smiths was one of those subcultural type of bands, right?
Yes and no. They're pretty on the
They
forefront.
eventually got more acquainted with pop culture, but like, back then, it's either if you weren't like reading Thrasher magazine, you wouldn't even know because they were like the only magazine probably that did a review besides maybe Maximum Rock and Roll.
You know what? I hated the Smiths up until I was like 27.
When you became vegan and realized meat is murder is your shirt that you want to wear every day.
No, you know what's
I'm
funny?
just joking.
I didn't start listening to the Smiths until after I was done being vegan, basically. Yeah.
You know what's funny? I went to Sick to Rock wearing my shirt "Meat is Murder."
And you'd never been vegetarian, have you?
I have
Really?
for like a week or two at a
Okay.
time for like over many years though. I try.
I mean, whatever.
I'm
not.
fucking Filipino, man.
You are a fucking Filipino man.
I've eaten this thing called day old chick, and
What's that?
day old chick isn't balut. Day old chick
Oh.
is this thing that as soon as it hatches, within the minute, it has to be within, just a few minutes. They fucking pork it and deep fry it, and it's because I lived in the Philippines for like 2 years once.
Morrissey would probably murder you just because
I
you've
wish he
eaten that.
hears this. Hey Morrissey, I ate fucking so much good
The old chick.
brisket And
Well,
Dale
first of
Chick-
all, Morrissey will never hear this. So
okay, well, no, he will. He's bored with his life. That's what he.
What's
That's
the-
what his songs are about. I'm so bored in life. I'm gonna go to YouTube. Just
what's
kidding.
the craziest Filipino thing you've ever eaten?
Pussy. Just joking.
Whoa!
I'm kidding.
Okay. All right. Damn, Joe.
What?
This has been a roller coaster ride, man.
I'm just. I mean, it's not the craziest thing, but I'll tell you. I'll give you a glimpse of my life for a moment. I'll
Please
give you
do.
2 minutes.
Please do.
When I lived in the Philippines, my cousin lived in this town. I lived there because my dad was in the Navy, so he was in the military, and like I lived on post, and then I went to visit my cousin in this place called Angeles City. And I went to Angeles City, and I was like going through coming of age already. I was like 14, 15 or something. And he took me to the market. He's like, hey, let's go to the fucking Palenque. And we went to the market, and it was in Angeles City, and it's where you get all your vegetables and shit. Only place you go. It's kind of like the central.
Mm-hmm.
And we went there, and then we went to this vegetable place, and then he talked to this lady selling vegetables, and he's like, hey, brat-tat-tat-tat. And she said, brat-tat-tat-tat-tat. And all of a sudden, she opened this thing on the bottom of the fucking floor. And we went downstairs, and it was like a brothel.
Oh!
And,
Shit.
you know, I wasn't a virgin, but
Well, how old were you? About 13?
about 15, I think, 16.
15. Wow.
16.
You got it in young, huh?
Anyway, I didn't do anything, but I met this chick in there on the ground in Palenque. It's still Spanish for market.
Okay.
And
Thank you for the interpretation.
well, you're Mexican, right?
I'm a little bit Mexican.
You're Spanish?
A little bit Mexican.
Okay.
I might not be a.
Part.
I don't know if I'm a Spaniard, but
Is Danger Hispanic? Does it pronounce
think-
Dagner like you have it on the Instagram? I'm just joking. Is that Spanish? Dagner.
I think that's a Spanish name. Yeah. Danger.
So,
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know.
So at the Palenque, I'm having this like
Yeah.
relations with this chick that's like actually just 1 year older than me. She was like 16 and I was like 15, I think. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck are you doing here? And then she was like
Having sex with you right
showing me like posters of like all these, you know, that are on her wall.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like actors that were just local Filipino actors. And she was like, da 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 da. And she was explaining to me like, usually the people that come through a room are like these old men.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
she's like 16. And you know, like, enough of that story, but like, that kind of opens your perspective in a whole different way about the entire world when you go to an underground
Absolutely.
brothel
Mhm.
and speak to a fucking 16-year-old girl whose just attention span is better looking men locally. Dude, they didn't have Tinder back then, is what I'm saying.
That's-
So they got into like getting drugged, getting
Oh.
trafficked. And you know, for the record, no, I didn't sleep with her. But that's what I experienced. And I felt at that moment, just spending that time with her, I was giving back to that community. Because that shit was something that dark. And that's why I guess I gravitated towards punk rock, is because I saw all these different things that didn't make sense in the world, like shit like that.
Yeah.
Palenque.
Damn, dude. That is fucking real. That is, wow.
I could go on. But
Yeah.
let's get back to punk rock.
I mean, damn. Wait, where are you going to take us after that, Joe?
Oh yeah, the Brown Boys. Okay, you guys can help me with this one, but like I want to tell this story about the Brown Boys one day, and it's infamously called the Brown Boys Beatdown, aka what the fuck was it called? Well, Tiara and Mish's birthday show, 18th birthday show, and you dated Mish, so you do you know this story? She must have told you this.
She kept a lot of secrets from me.
Are you fucking
I'm just
kidding?
kidding. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. No, I do. No, first of all, being a punk rocker in the 808 scene, I don't think there's many ways.
This is a joke, but I was gonna say right back at you. I'm just joking. It's like a mom joke or something.
Yeah, I don't think there's.
I just want to piss her off right now, just because that's not true at all.
Well,
But yeah, she knows a lot of dirty shit about me. Don't come on the show. Just joking. Just kidding. I'm totally kidding.
but I don't. Yeah,
I
I
like
feel
English.
like. I feel like anybody who's into punk rock in the 808 in this particular age range would know some Brown Boy stories.
What?
So,
Not enough.
maybe not enough. Yeah.
This one that I want to tell is fucking pretty much sums up how shit was for the whole scene, and that's why I want to tell this story. So I'm not gonna give it all out, but basically, like, it was one of the first built up on the internet, like, situational
Oh, some
drama
808 scene board shit.
on the 808 scene board.
Yeah.
And then it came to life, and my friend filmed it, and I had a copy of it. My brother dubbed it over with Dragon Ball Z's, and I punched him hard on the leg. And then, I never retrieved it, and it's gone forever. But I have the story and everybody's account, and I've talked to everyone who was around there, from anyone from Mike Arakawa or Mike Muse or whatever, from Extra Stout or 13th Legion,
Yeah.
to fucking Aaron Knapp, to fucking David from the Brown Boys. Everyone's account, like, there's so much more names that are super significant into this situation, because like it's like the cast was all there, all the like local legendary people who built up the scene, and the scene was the thing that people need to know about the scene back then, and is how it affects now, because back then we had to fucking fight for a scene. Pawahi, we had to fight for that scene. That was in the early 2000s, but before that, in the 90s, dude, like, people like Damon from Brown Boys used to have to, from what I understand, fight off a lot of people who were, against the punk rock scene.
Yeah, it was a different time for sure.
That's-
I feel like
I had a lot of respect for the Brown Boys because of that. 'Cause
Yeah,
I knew,
for sure.
although they try to check all of us in the scene, they also checked the rest of the fucking Hawaii. They were like the first alternative crew. They were like the skaters of Mililani. I mean, I can name them. You know them all. Like,
For sure.
Maybe they don't want to be named. I don't know. I'll find out.
but
But they were the first counterculture
for
scene
sure,
in Hawaii.
kind of like wrangling in the punk scene.
Yeah,
And when I was a kid, for sure, like there was.
protecting it.
I mean, protecting it. Like, I never. Luckily,
A lot of people
I never
didn't
got
like them.
I never got an ass whooping from the Brown Boys, and hopefully it was because I didn't do anything fucked up. You know what I mean? But like, I know what you're talking about.
I got punched in the face once.
Yeah.
That was it. Because I always like kind of like just was myself. But one time, like, there was someone, and they know who they are. But like, they just like didn't want me at the hideaway or something, and they're like, "You don't fucking belong here" or something. I went through that shit, Get the fuck out of here. And I got punched in the face, and I was like, "Fuck." That felt like twice this guy's size.
Yeah.
And this guy could probably fuck me up.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm not gonna leave, dude. I was like, I don't. And he was like, don't fucking test me. And I was like, shit. And I went downstairs, and he said, don't ever come back. And then I was like, fuck, what do I do? And I came back, and then he was like, let's smoke this joint.
Whoa.
And I, like,
Whoa.
totally had respect for
Yeah,
that
you
person.
just got tested. You got tested. What are we talking about? Altoids?
Altoids. No, Brown Boys.
Brown Boys. That's
Okay.
what BBJ wants to hear about, is the Brown
Okay,
Boy
let's,
story.
let's go there. Where were we?
We've been everywhere.
Okay, so they were on the
I mean,
internet, and it was the biggest build up on the internet at that moment, on the 808 scene board, that was like leading to, hey, there's gonna be some crazy ass shit going down, and like,
it was like there was a buildup.
yeah, and then the Tiari and Mish was throwing this gig, and like it was their 18th birthday or something like that, and they wanted to throw a show, and it was at the ball courts at the Eva Campbell's
White Plains?
Campbell School.
White
or whatever.
Plains?
Was it the Eva Beach School, Campbell? So
I don't know.
Anyways, so they were throwing a show across the street from Campbell High School, and it was at the tennis ball courts, and all this shit was building up on the internet. And I talked to my friend, one of them, I'm not gonna say who. She said, and I was like, hey, all this shit that's going down, are you still gonna go through with the show? And she was like,
Oh shit.
yeah.
Damn, like
And then-
knowing that there was gonna be a brawl.
Oh shit, she's gonna kill me. But yeah, like so she brought the camera, we filmed it.
Whoa!
But what had happened was, it was like public offender. They were like playing, and they were playing that trusty style punk that they were playing during that day, and they were like, and they were like basketball court, you know, and other bands would play. We were building up. People from the school started coming over. The punk rock scene started showing up, and then all of a sudden, you remember that movie Queen of the Damned?
No, I don't know. Yeah,
Yes, with
Aaliyah.
Aaliyah.
Aaliyah, yeah.
Remember how the vampires are coming into the concert?
I never watched it because it
Well,
looked like it was gonna be bad. So
it was great. Actually, you should watch it.
cheers.
Cheers. Well, if you watch that movie, the vampires started coming out in the crowd, and you started seeing them, and that's how the Brown Boys were coming out
Oh,
at that tennis court. They were like, you know, the tennis court starts getting filled, and the outside of the, you know, the chain link fence were coming like all the fucking punk rock scene guys, 1-5, fucking Brown Boys, and then you start seeing all the, you know, the iconic people at that time, and they're like, boom, 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 and you're like, fuck, a beatdown is coming.
oh no!
And I think it's like, I know who this is, but like he came and this guy came inside, friends of, I mean, one of the group guys, and like, and then they started playing. I think Skinner, who's the lead singer, was about to sing, and it was like, it was like super dark, crusty shit, and then the guy from the opposing side, he like sticks his middle finger at the guy.
Oops.
Oh no, actually, so my bad. So Skinner, like, you know, was about to sing, and then the opposing side guy was like, "What's up, motherfucker?" And then Skinner was like, stuck his middle finger, and without no fucking fear, this guy was not a brawn guy. This guy was a skinny punk rock kid.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he didn't give a fuck how many people were showing up, like Queen of the Damned. He didn't give a fuck how many Brown Boys, how many fucking 1-5, how many fucking punk rock guys that wanted to kick his ass were coming. He said, "Fuck you."
Oh.
And then they all moved forward, and then grabbed guitars, smashed guitars, and people were just going at the fucking public offender. And it was all in film. But the cool part about it was in Hawaii, because there was shit in the background that I remember. It was like, "Oh shit, Bahana," you know, all the local pigeon that was going on behind the scenes, and fucking the visual shit. And that was like, I think, the pinnacle of like the Brown Boys scene, you know, that they made that kind of impact. I mean, they're also the same
Maybe that's
same group that would go into like a show back in the day that would be like Siegsveld Theater when Otto used to throw shows.
Mm-hmm.
And when he used to throw shows at like places like that, you know, like there would be people moshing, and the scene was really strong. There was like at least 100 people all the time,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And you know, I remember the Brown Boys and their presence, because they would go to a show where everybody's moshing, and all of a sudden people start going outside of the fucking mosh pit, because the Brown Boys are like walking in like the mafia with their girlfriends, who are dressed all in black, and they're all in their threads, you know, the Fred Perry, Ben Shermans, and, you know, Crombies, and whatever jackets that, you know, kind of was you could wear in Hawaii that wasn't too hot. And they got into the fucking, you know, they would walk through it. Everyone, it was like Moses. They would part. Everyone would get the fuck out of their way. And then one of them slowly just would go around there and start doing the fucking, you know, they start moshing and doing even like the early hardcore dances and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then nobody wanted to go in there with them. Everyone was afraid. And that's, I think, the difference between the scene now and the scene then. It's just like, you couldn't just play the scene because you were a talented musician. You had to have like some passion behind it all. Otherwise, we didn't want to hear your shit.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have to have talent. You just didn't want to hear bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
We wanted to hear real people, even if they sucked at their instruments.
Yep.
I'm good.
No, I feel you. I feel that. I understand that. I feel like this the way the scene is today, it's a little bit all over the place.
It is.
Yeah.
And I feel like we kind of, that's the thing. It's like we're not coming, we're not like trying to bridge those gaps, like, like the older guys need to bring the younger generation in there, but without, trying to bring some perviness and like trying to sleep with the girls. You know what I mean? I mean, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, that's always been in the punk rock scene. Like, young girls who are like impressionable are gonna want to sleep with like the charismatic, fucking
Well, the good good-looking
legend.
AGoGos.
Yeah, and I never took advantage of that shit. I never had to.
Hey, you're doing a great job.
I mean,
I appreciate you, man. Thanks for coming over.
yeah, there's. I might be going at one type. I might be going in like one direction with some of the things, but there's definitely a lot of aspects to like the scene and how it was then and now. I mean, everyone's got their own perspective at all, but I do remember like just the value of being in the scene. It's like you couldn't if you saw, say, like somebody in your high school come into the scene, you're like, are you worthy of this? Is what you thought.
Right. I
what I
understand
mean?
that. Yeah, I understand that.
And then
for
you
sure.
you'd be like watching their character the whole time until they were fully accepted, and everyone's like, that person's okay. That person's
Yeah.
like genuine,
I feel like that process for me took years.
Really?
I feel like myself being vetted was like several years. You know what I mean? Like before, like people like you or Brown Boys
I
or
think when
whoever, like
when your generation started coming up, I think like I moved to the mainland is what it was. So like like then all of a sudden I threw an event out here,
Mhm.
and like, and then you guys like, then I like met up with all of you guys more. Like I threw a show with.
When do you think you met Josh?
Oh no, well I met Josh at Leeward Community College when he was like at his first year probably.
So like that was like 2001, 2002.
Yeah.
So you met him at a young age. So you guys were cool, like. But remember when I was on tour in Vegas and then we met up with you?
Yeah, man. There was these chicks. There were suicide girls from this one strip joint that I used to hang out at, and they were, they were my friends. I just, so happened to hang out at strip joints. No. I lived in Vegas, like, and people were strippers.
Yeah,
Or whatever.
Sometimes
They
people
work
take
the
off their
industry.
clothes for money. Like sometimes people hand food for money. Sometimes people
And they wanted to meet the Hell Caminos.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. That's hilarious.
And they wanted to do more than strip for y'all.
Oh,
and I
that's
told
funny.
you and Mike, hey, these girls want to meet you. They're like fucking suicide girl status. I mean, they were suicide girls. They were in Suicide Girls.
Yeah.
Which is
At the time
was the only like
was actual
alternative
like,
to fucking regular modeling.
Yes. Yes.
And like they wanted to meet. Can you guys read this?
The fucking Hell Caminos. What does it say?
Hell fucking Caminos.
The Hell fucking Caminos.
Yeah.
Right on.
Look at that. It's on my jacket.
Thank you for having our pin on your jacket. Thank you.
I like it. It's like a brilliant pin.
Show him
Okay.
again, he says.
The Hell fucking Caminos. And I was telling you that, and you know what the thing is, I didn't know you guys' music. I just saw you guys.
You
in
probably
Vegas.
didn't even like it.
I probably didn't even like it.
Yeah.
But you went to this iconic show, Nick, in Vegas.
Yeah.
Because at that time, the psychobilly kids and the rockabilly kids were at war, and I was trying
Really?
to tell you this at the time. They were like killing, like jail status war.
Whoa.
Like at that show that you played,
Oh,
there could have been like some stabbings.
There was,
at night,
yeah.
'cause there was always
I
stabbings.
remember you saying there was some. Yeah. I
At the
remember
last
you saying
previous
that.
shows, there were stabbings, but at your show there wasn't. And then after you guys were like on a sober trip, So like I was like,
We
hey,
we're all on a sober trip.
and I was walking to you guys like hotel. I was like, yo, I got some girls. They want to fucking meet you. They probably want to fuck your brains out. They're suicide girl status chicks.
And we all went to sleep.
They like your music, and you guys were like,
You know what? You know
we're
the
tired. We're on tour.
You know
We
the
gotta
other
go
funny
to
thing
the
was?
next town.
That was my birthday.
Oh fuck.
That was May 20th, my birthday.
Well, then maybe that was a present because maybe you would have had a kid out there. I'm just joking. That like
That's
you never knew about
hilarious.
because the mother was cuckoo.
That's
Yeah.
hilarious because that was absolutely my birthday, and I remember being in the hotel room and everybody being like, "Joe's calling. What
Yeah.
what should we do?" And I was like sleeping in bed, and I was like, "I'm
That
tired."
one, whatever happens in Vegas, stays in Vegas moment.
Honestly, I mean,
Honestly, oh wait, hold on, Nick. Let me just say this.
say it.
Honestly, but did it happen?
Who knows? What if it did? What if it did?
If it did, then it could have been a real cool story, or is it?
Dude.
This is funny because like Josh told me this story about him coming up to Vegas,
Yeah.
and I had to like I kind of forgot it, but I remember. And he said he stayed in my living room. I was like, holy shit!
You
And I
didn't
took
remember?
Yeah, and I had like this like little pattern I would do. I'd like go to the beauty bar, and then I'd go to the punk
The
rock
beauty bar.
Yeah, I would like hang out with all my just like what I do right now. I'd go downbeat. I'd go to Proof. I went to the beauty bar, and then I went to the fucking Double Down, where all the Nazis hung out too. And then
Whoa.
but I would sleep at the couch, and that would be cool because like there was a guy over there named Mello, and he's from Hawaii, and he's friends with Johnny from the Hideaway. And you know, he would watch over me, and like Nazis would walk around, and I'm like, and you know what? I even wore a Stupid Screwdriver shirt
Oops.
because I liked the first album, and I was trying to fucking
beers in the fridge?
I was trying to make like, you know, a point by wearing Screwdriver before their racist shirt.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, one day this black
SBR.
kid,
Trying to rock that SBR.
yeah, and then fucking this black kid comes around. And he came from jail, and he's like, "Hey man, when I was in jail, I learned about this band. I didn't know what you're trying to do."
Whoa.
Yeah, and he's like, "That's cool, man. As long as you're not like fucking real Nazi." I'm like,
Really?
yeah. He said, "I understand it." He understood punk rock, and he was all up into hip hop and whatever. But in that underworld of jail, he like understood like you know how that movement was with like Nazi skinheads and shit.
Damn.
And that was my point. And I never wore the shirt again after that. I was like, oh shit. I think I was just stoned and I walked into the
What did
fucking
you
Double Down.
You throw it away?
No. I have it somewhere, but it's like, oh yeah. Hey. Beer.
Beers. We got beers. Oh, Christmas beers.
Holy shit, Nick. Did I say too much?
No.
Oh my God.
Not
It's
not
totally-
yet. You haven't.
There's more, but like anyway. But yeah, like Las Vegas was a trip too. There's a lot of people that live there, you know, from Hawaii. Cheers. I know you for a long time now, and I know you from afar too. You know, and I got to know you a little bit more, like over the years, slowly, and like kind of like, you know, we never always hung out, but you know, I did value your character because you know, even the fact that you're even doing this show.
Thank you.
You know, like I want to do something like this for the scene too, and you know, I'm like working on my editing skills and shit. But you know,
I'm not editing
glad
shit.
I'm glad that
This
you're
is all
doing.
BBJ, baby.
Perfect,
This
man.
is
And
BBJ.
I'm gonna take all this footage, by the way, y'all, and then I'm gonna like cut it into my thing and like,
You can have
make
it.
you guys
You can have it.
shine. And we
Yeah,
need to
I
like
mean,
speak
well,
out for
well,
this shit. You know,
yeah.
You know, I'm glad that you guys are doing this. I really am. I appreciate you too, BBJ and Erica being here and shit.
Is she still here? I don't know. She might have left. I don't know.
She when I went to the
She
market,
probably got bored
wait,
of everything you
what
had
were you
to
gonna
say,
get to
Joe.
the? What were you gonna get? You were going to the market, Erica, for what? I don't know. I thought you were going to the store for something.
I feel like we should get her. Should we get her back in
yeah,
here?
let's get in
Should we
here.
get her back
let's
in
talk
here?
about that era.
Erica, should we get you back in here?
Erica, get back here.
Are you coming? Are you coming back?
Are you fixing your hair?
Are you fixing your hair, Erica?
What? Wild roller coaster.
Give
I'm
these.
not as vain.
Dude, I don't
as
even
y'all.
remember what I've been talking about.
I'm not as vain as all of you.
Oh shit, you calling me vain?
Hi, friends.
This is the first time we did a little.
A trio?
No, on Rats podcast we did a lot of people, but this is the first time we did like a rejoin. We just gotta make sure you.
All right, I'll talk in the mic.
What?
What are we talking about?
You?
Me?
Our relationship?
This is getting a
I
little.
think I need to leave now.
Oh my god, not our.
No, this is getting a
We've
little.
never had sex or anything like that. I'm just saying, our friend relationship, Erica. The fact that you were like you befriended my sister in elementary and stole my No Doubt CD.
What is going on?
Holy shit!
Yes, I stole a CD from you in 3rd grade.
There you
and
go.
that's it.
Yeah, I know. And then you told me that when you were like 18 or some shit.
Joe, you were in No Doubt.
No. I had a.
He was like weren't you DJing for Radio Free or something?
Yeah, I was like interning as a DJ on Radio Free, and I had like the 3,000 CDs or something, and I just had like this crazy ass collection. It looked like a fucking record store in my room for a moment, and then I just like, then at some point I had a homeless moment of 3 months.
A homeless moment?
Yeah, I had a homeless moment for 3 months.
Where were you?
In my car, and
In Mililani?
no, I was in I think Salt Lake is where I would park the car. And like I had
Which
3,000
one?
CDs to my name.
Which car?
It was a Toyota, probably Toyota Corolla.
The white one?
A Datsun. No, Susie gave me this car. Remember Susie Pang?
No.
Susie Pang. Oh shit, Susie. Sorry, you gave me this fucking car, and the
Crazy
fucking
guy.
taxes were so back taxed that like when I was sleeping in it, I got fucking arrested and I had to go fucking in a holding cell because the tags were expired, and I had this fucking warrant for the same fucking tags situation. So I got tagged the first time, and then the second time I got pulled into a jail cell. And then like I was living in there, and I had
How
I had
many
was
stories like
3,000.
this do you have?
Too many.
He probably has. He probably has a fucking lot.
Yeah. So I had my CDs, 3,000 CDs, and I slowly sold them to Jellies, to Norm.
I still see Norm sometimes. He's fucking
Yeah, I know.
wild.
My friend Dougie works at that place. You know Dougie?
Yeah,
Y'all
I know Dougie. I just talked to him the other
Yeah,
week.
he's got a sick ass collection of like 60s Hawaii garage, and some R&B. You know, just like the fucking Aloha Got Soul Got, but he's got the garage.
Roger.
Yeah. I know Roger Box. Sorry, Roger. But I have to put it in like a animated character to remember. So Dougie has this 60s garage collection that were labels like Scene Records and Teen Records from bands that would perform, that garage rock, surf rock in Waikiki. And he works with Norm at Jellies. But Jellies was yeah, I totally forgot where I was going, dude. What were we talking about right before this?
I don't even know.
No, it's something about Jellies. Oh shit.
About Tragic Kingdom? Are we?
Oh,
bringing
Tragic
it,
Kingdom
Are we
and all
bringing
that
it
shit?
back?
Yeah, totally.
We're
So I lived
reeling
in my
it back
car.
in?
I lived in my car.
Oh, there we go. In Salt Lake.
I lived in my car in Salt Lake for 3
Did you eat at
months.
Soon's?
All the time.
Fuck yeah!
Soon.
Amen, Soon's. We love you.
And during that time, I got arrested a couple times for sleeping in my car, and I would use the 3,000 CDs to sell to Jelly so I can eat McChicken sandwiches and soda for $2 and live off of that. Live off of that.
Party foul.
Food budget.
When was this?
I don't know. It's like 2001, maybe
2001.
2000.
How old were you?
I was shut up. Fucking trick questions. But anyways, so yes, I was homeless, and I
Okay, but
dug
I got
myself out of that. But for a moment, I was like, fuck all this like material like shit that like I'm like a slave to, which is like the sound of music in a fucking obsessive way, which is the collection of music through like CDs and vinyl, you know. And I was like, fuck all this, and I just gave it all up and sold it for McChicken sandwiches. To survive. At
To
that
survive.
time.
This is
I'm
Joe. You've had a wild life. My God.
I'm sorry.
Everyone's a mess here.
take a shot?
I'm
No, I think you guys are crazy.
What? You got? It's your turn to talk, Erica.
I've had
That's why
my
you-
session.
No, that's why we brought you in. Come on. I can't be spilling all this juice.
I'm not spilling no juice.
It's bullshit.
Here you go. I'm making my exit. Bye, guys.
No, you can't. You know
No.
why? You gotta do it for the scene. You gotta spill one for the scene.
I don't need to do anything.
You don't for the scene. Oh, you're scared? You're scared. You're running away. You're handing the headphones away.
That's fine. It's
No,
fine.
I'm just joking. I'm just joking. I love you, Erica.
Joe,
Thank
you've,
you for sticking around with this bullshit.
Joe, you've done more than anybody's asked for.
I'm sorry.
First of all, you've been stunning.
Well, I mean, I'm just. There's more, but this is real. Palenque, yo. That could be your mother, not you.
I wish I had another beer. Wow, we fucking
That one goes to Darren Durego. You know,
Polish off a good amount of
Palenque,
us.
Darren Durego. Nah. I'm just. It's a way to cut everyone's mother. Your mom's from the Palenque. I'm just joking.
All right, so give me one last story from the Philippines.
The Philippines? Holy shit.
Think about it.
No, there's too many, but the one I'd probably want to tell is like when I was in intermediate time. I think there was a moment where like the country went crazy and there was like a coup d'état. Okay, yeah. So like in the Philippines, they had this coup d'état. If you guys didn't know, and that's when they sent Marcos over here. And during that coup d'état, like everyone was fucking chaotic. Like people fucking killed people. People did crazy shit to overthrow the government, and it took like rebel forces, political activists, different groups to overthrow the government because it was a corrupt government. I mean, if you think about it, like now, I think we're in the, crisis of a coup d'état right now. And I have been there. And I saw the country, like, turn over. And during that time, I had friends who were murdered. And, like, it was called People Power. And they overtook the palace, which was where Marcos lived with Imelda. And they moved those guys here, right, to Hawaii. Do you remember that?
No.
Okay, yeah, but they moved them to fucking, I forget, Tantless or some shit. And, like, he was, like, a dead corpse up in there for a bit. I don't really know the story. We gotta, like, fact-check this shit. But, like, during that time, I was living in a third world with fucking rebel forces crawling around and Marcos getting overthrown and being in Hawaii. And, I discovered the punk rock scene first there at this event called Drenched. And, like, where I lived, which is Baguio City, it was, like, where they would, like, it was just rainy all year long, basically. And that's that event. And, like, the first time I saw punk rock, people were slam dancing. And it's something you don't see anymore. It's like, it's actual dancing, dude. It's like some people think it's just going around a circle, but, like, it's actually, you could stay in one place and just move and, like, just be, like, aggressive. And, like, you're falling asleep.
No.
But yeah, they were just, at that time, the way the world was, it was just, Like you could tell there was change, and there was change happening because culture was changing and going to subculture and digging into the roots of, hey, let's question authority. You know what I'm saying? Let's start questioning authority. And that was the 80s, 90s era. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we, came up with the internet and like furthered it. Let's go beyond the fucking Xerox catalogs. Let's like search further and why everyone became a band, became a movement, became a subculture, and who the fuck was behind it, and what spawned it, like all the way to the fucking mod scene. You're falling asleep, dude. Nick Danger, I don't ever want to wish this on you, but cocaine. I'm just joking. Hey, let's take a break and let's go for another 15 minutes.
Let's take a break. Take a break.
Huh?
Let's take a break.
Let's take a break. Oh my God, I love you, man. You're a great person. I'm glad you're doing this. You too, Baby J and Erica. I love all you guys.
How old are you?
I'm glad. Shut the fuck up, Eric.
Shut up, Eric. Shut up.